Okay, so I can show you the system, but you're going to go, okay, well, how do you carry out calculations on it? So with the Mancala system that we talked about earlier, it's super easy. I mean, it's so straightforward. It's just too easy. But then you have to, after you're done with your calculation, right, you're going to have you're going to have rocks left over in various holes, and then you're going to add those up. With the YUPANA, it kind of cuts out that extra step, and also there's no numerals being used, so you don't have to convert like an octal to a decimal or something like that. Also, you could convert the binary code to decimals if you wanted as well. But with the YUPANA, you don't have to do any of that. Um, so, okay, it's probably maybe a little difficult to see in the lighting, but I made another little graph here, and in this setup, the way I have it numbered is I show the entire value of each dot, including all of the dots before it. So this is where it looks complicated and strange, and I told you you have to basically let go of your entire logical Western mindset in order to get this, because it's very different. I've never seen anything like it. Here I have just the value of each dot, and then the value of each box, and the value of each row, right? But here I have the sequential added up value of each one. So you're going to see a pattern emerge. And if you know the pattern, as someone who grew up doing this or learned it well, would just know the pattern instantly, and he wouldn't have to think about it. No, I'm not that good at it yet. I just figured this out and I'm making a video on it. So I can't really show you really fast calculations without making a better quality video that's edited, and this is nothing like that. So basically, there's 1, okay, that dot's going to be 2, and that's 5, okay. Now this dot here is obviously double that dot. This dot here is the amount of all of the dots before it plus itself. So you remember that back on the other page, this dot equals 2 and this dot equals 2, right? But with all the dots added up, this is 5, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 1 plus 2 plus 2, and there's the value of it. It's 5 right there. You move forward, you're going to see the pattern start emerging. It's kind of like it squiggles like this. You can see where indigenous people got some of their strange little squiggly shapes from and stuff like that. So you can kind of follow this curve now. You can see there's that you can come each one, there's a little bit of space. The 3's column, there's a little bit of space, a little space there. Even with the 5's, there's, if it was lined up right, there'd be a little bit of space. So each one's going to be a little bit over from the last one. You move on over to 8. Okay, 8 is what? 5 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, 11. Now this is a little different because the pattern is not everything behind it that you're going to add up. The 11 is 8 plus 3. So when you're taking the second point, the second node in the 3 box, you're going to add up the one before it, and then 1 from the one before it, and 1 from the one before it. You see how that is? Go to the next one. Okay, each one of these dots, remember, is worth 3. Okay, so you go to the 14. What's the 14? It's 11, and the same thing. The one from the box before it and one from the box before it. So it's the same pattern. So this box, each node on the box, when you skip forward, equals 1 from the box before it to skip forward to the next one. I know it sounds simple and it also sounds complicated at the same time, and that's what this is. Okay, you move forward to the 5 box. Now remember that each one of these points is worth 5, and the whole entire box is worth 25. So you have 19. This node right here is worth 19 because you have 14 here, and then now you're adding 5 more because this point is worth 5, just like all the other points here. So this here is when you skip forward, you're skipping forward 5. So you're skipping forward 1, you're adding a 3, and you're adding a 2. You're not going back to that box anymore. So 1 from the box before it and 1 from the box before that. You skip forward again, same thing, because you're skipping forward 5, 5, 5, 5. So every time you skip forward, the amount that you skip forward is 1 from this box and 1 from this box. And it keeps going like that until you get 39. Now that you're going to be at 39 here. Okay, so when you're doing these calculations, when you're multiplying, when you're dividing, you're either going to be counting backwards or you're going to be counting forward. Basically, you're going to be moving up this. Now, I kind of wanted to show you how, we'll go back to this one. When this box is going to have, the entire row is going to have groupings. Okay, if you're multiplying by 5s, by 6s, by 3s, by 2s, by 7s, whatever you're going to be multiplying by, you're going to want to have groupings memorized. And groupings are fairly easy to memorize, right? 1, 2, 3. Now there's no 4, so it's 1, 4 is this one and this one. Or it's this one and this one. You can do it whichever way you want. So I'll try to represent a few simple numbers for you. You know, obviously that's going to be 5 based on what I showed you before. You put 1 here, you have 8, right? 5 plus 3. You put another one here, you're going to have 10. Or you could put it here, and you also have 10. You put 1 here, you're going to have 13. Right? You put it here, you're going to have 12. You put it over here, you're going to have 15. So it's really easy to divide numbers, and you can use it for fractions and so forth. Now, what I have here is, I just hope it's not too hard to see in the lighting, but if you're going to multiply by 5 and 10s, this is kind of an idea of how things are going to be grouped, right? So you would just kind of memorize this. We could make a YUPANA with different colored dots or something like that, but basically, if you're going to count by 10, by 5s, you're going to be 5, right? Because this dot here on the YUPANA equals, each one equals 5. So I'm going to have groupings 5, 10, right? 5 times 1, 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 3, 13, 5 times 4, 20, 5 times 5, 25. That's the entire value of this box. So if you're going to say 5 times 3, you just know that each one of these 3 dots, all these 3 dots adds up to 15. If you're going to multiply, let's say 5 times 6, well, you've used up all of your dots here, so you have to move down and use a different grouping. So because every dot in this box, right, is worth 3, every dot in this box is worth 2, then you add your 3 from this box and your 2 from this box, and that's another 5. And you do the same thing here. So that's another 5. And so this is 3.
and this is 1, and you're not going to get to 5 because this is only going to be 3, this is going to be 4 in this row, but you've already gotten to 39, so that's when you move up. So this dot up here is going to make 40 if you included this dot. But once you get up there, you can empty out all these, right? So you're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And you're at 40. So you've used up entire 40. Then when you're up here, right, when you're up in this dot right here, which equals 40, you then would move back down here to represent, let's say if you wanted 45, you have your rock here, that's 40. Only you need to show 45, right? Or you would need to show 48 or 49, right? So this right here is 49. Now remember, one of these dots itself equals 80. So that's 80. This would be 160. 80 plus 80. This would be 60, right? So you move up from here, 40, and you double. But if you move up and you put into both spaces, you're going to add 100 and 100. I can't remember, but okay. So I will try to make another video on how to do carry out calculations. Let me show you real quick. This is counting by tens. If you're going to count by tens, 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, right? So there's patterns, and if you were going to use a YUPANA and get good at it, you would remember these patterns that are used to multiply, and it would be pretty easy for you, and then you would actually be able to do the math in your head. Okay.